Hello, everyone. We are now successfully online. What, was I loud or something? I see some wet faces. I can't tell. Maybe I was very loud. Well, hi. Welcome. We're going to switch over to Make a Good Mega Man Level Contest 2, which is going to be a three-way race between TimeLink, Cheese 8, and Mysterian Svin. So we're going to hop over to that, and things will be fantastic. So let's switch over here. And the people are already ready to go. So let me just quickly check with them. Video. Unmute. All right, and now we are live.
All right, we're live?
Yeah.
Great. Hello, people.
Can I introduce yourselves?
Oh, sure. So,
Cheese, you start.
all right. I'm Cheese. I'm one of the runners of this game. I own a microphone. And I was a judge on one of the past contests, or the only past contest before this one. Somebody else introduce themselves next.
I guess I'll go. I'm PKWeegee. I was one of the beta testers for this game when it was pumped out to release, and I'm also a beta tester for the next one that's coming up sometimes later this year. Jack.
And from the commentator.
Hello.
Hello. We can hear you now.
I'm MJack. I'm sorry. But, hey, I'm like talking over me. Not cool.
What?
All right, so there's Jack.
I guess so.
All right, so we're gonna get going.
We've also got our other runners. TimeLink holds the 100% record right now. Miss Finn is one of the only people who's ever run 100% for this game and holds a lot of ILs too.
Perfect. So the audio we're going to be using is from TimeLink's stream, so just a heads up for that. And you all ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go on go. So 3, 2, 1, go. And you have a great race.
Thank you.
Alright, so the first thing everyone will do is commit suicide by pressing the 2 button to skip the intro cutscene.
You can't watch the cutscene if you're dead.
It's a good
So-
life tip.
First
just kill yourself.
thing we're doing here is kind of execution heavy, so I'm gonna let you two go ahead and just talk about what contest is.
Alright, so this is Make Your Mega Man Level Contest 2. It was a level making contest which was based around the Mega Man series, and this first stage we're going into, Kamuso Temple, is only using assets that were provided in the dev kit. And the dev kit was made so pretty much anyone could be able to make a stage, and yeah. This
Like,
is... Yeah, go ahead.
you'll see on this level, all the assets and such were from official Mega Man games 1 through 6. Except for the boss, who we'll see in a little bit, who is, as the name was just, Komuso Man from... What the hell's the name of the game for the Wonder Swan?
Mega Man
from the
based
future.
Challenger from the future.
It's not even a real game.
It's fake.
I'm not convinced the Wonder Swan was a real console.
Yeah.
It was a fun console. Had a neat gimmick with the screen rotating, but yeah, it was weird.
you astute folks in the chat might have noticed, the weapon set for this game was decided by a poll of contest people. It just picks like a greatest hits almost of weapons from assorted Mega Man classic games. Like right now, this level is making a lot of use of Flash Stopper for Mega Man 4, which stops time.
It stops pretty much every gimmick that exists in the game, so you can just walk on these platforms that are going up and down and you won't get hurt.
Now, on my stream, Time Link is using Wheel Cutter for Mega Man 10, which you can't tell right now because he's using it as a boss weakness, but it's going to have some real good utility on some of the more vertical levels in the game.
Yeah. So, next up, we're going into... The stream would load.
Cyberman stage.
Exactly, we're going into Cyberman stage, and here's another utilization of Flash Stopper, because these sparkling rainbow blocks get stopped by Flash Stopper, and when they're stopped, they don't teleport you somewhere else, because otherwise they would.
Flash Stopper's great because it actually deactivates a whole bunch of hazards.
Yeah. And now everyone's gonna get purposefully hit by this mini-boss, because if you go to the left afterwards, you can pretty much skip right to the boss, which is a pretty neat shortcut.
Normally the flashy blocks there would send you back like 1 or 2 screens and also just stop you still for like 3 or 4 seconds. Really annoying.
Using Hornet Chaser for Mega Man 9, which is a good playthroughs because it can pick up items and such. But here we're mostly using it for boss weaknesses.
Because who needs items, honestly?
And I think around now the routes are diverging a little.
Time Link and Cheese are both going to go into Truffle Man stage.
And we're gonna see some great uses of Super Arrow from Mega Man 5 now. Super Arrow is a weapon which you can use as a platform to stand on and fly around the screen, which is great for skipping large chunks of the levels. But you should be beware, if you stand on it, it will drain your weapon energy. But even if the weapon energy runs out, you can still stand on one.
Yeah, the nice thing, unlike with Rush Jet, which disappears when it runs out, Super Arrow, you can just keep riding it once it's out of energy. You only need it to create the arrow.
Link is now fighting the mini-boss in the stage, who is weak to Sakugarne from Mega Man 2 for Game Boy.
This mini-boss is awful.
It's a lot of
total RNG.
It's not just RNG to speed it up, it's also, like, it does a ton of damage, so it can kill you easily. Just because it wants to keep jumping.
Now, while everyone else is struggling on the mini-boss, Mistswin is fighting the first tier boss we're gonna see here. We're gonna be fighting all of the tier bosses because those are easy energy elements.
We should explain. Right.
Speaking of.
The first hour of gameplay, roughly, is going to be us getting the 65 energy elements that we need to move on to the Wily levels. There are 81 entry levels in this game, but...
Oh, that's new? That's never happened before.
We are never going... Right. But since we don't need all of them, we're going to pick the shortest of them. There are also 9 tier bosses, which are, obviously, since they're just boss fights, shorter than all the levels. So we're going to... And then we're also going to skip over some levels, because some levels have skip till... You can see in Mist's stream, this is my level actually, Sector Epsilon 6, which is very long, so they have a little skip teleporter for people on casual playthroughs who don't want to actually go through the level in its entirety. So going into that and taking advantage of that by grabbing all of the possible exits. So energy elements that we just don't even bother getting from regular stages. So
Another trick we'll utilize in levels with multiple energy elements is when we grab the energy element, we use the 2 key to kill ourselves so we don't exit the stage. Saves a few seconds, honestly, but it's good.
Wondering, what are those weird black star things that we're seeing in some of these levels? Those are noble nickels, which are collectibles. They're similar to the dragon coins from Super Mario World. We are not going to collect any of them on this playthrough because they are basically useless unless you're doing 100%.
They do unlock some neat extra abilities though. But,
Yeah, but
yeah.
it takes too long to collect them for them to actually be useful for any of us in a speedrun.
Exactly.
We're only visiting about half the stages in this game, because we'll be skipping half of them, getting 9 elements from.
Right, so there's like just over 100 energy elements in the game. We gotta collect about 65 to move on to the final stages.
So, let's see what's going on. Cheese and Timelink are on Gutsman's asteroid now, and this level has a very easy energy element to grab. Just go to the right and there you go. Yeah!
Always runs, you know? It's
The run killer. Meanwhile, Mistsvin is on Misty Lake, and you can see some great utilization of Super Arrow here, where you can just
Go.
place it on the top of the screen and ride it to victory.
Timelink is now fighting the tier boss. All the tier bosses, for those of you who are curious, are from other Mega Man fan games. Now, Butter Nizumi is a boss from the Japanese fan game Nizumi Man. Fun bit of trivia: Butter Nizumi only has 26 health because in his base game he has 26 health. Rather, that's really not especially interesting tidbit.
Did we explain what the tiers are yet?
Good point. So, the 81 levels, only 80 of them technically because of some weird stuff. They are split basically into 10 tiers. There are 8 in every tier, except for the first, which is 10, and the last, which has 6. 10, which we started at, has the best levels, including the first place entry.
And Tier 1 has the worst.
Yeah, we're going from 10 to 1, which is the reverse of what you do on a normal playthrough. If we do it this way...
Because it's faster.
Yeah, we get to skip a bunch
There
of
are some
cutscenes.
neat little cutscene skips that we're gonna utilize later on, so look out for those.
So we've been starting with the highest rank levels so far.
And we're slowly working our way downwards.
Yeah,
Levels get slowly crappier and crappier as we continue.
but
So that should be fun.
for a while we'll still be working with really good levels.
Mistsvin is taking on the stage Forceman right now, and as the name would imply, there's a lot of force
Ooh.
beams from Quickman stage, and those are instant kill. What Svin just did there was a sip. We're gonna go into those a bit later on, because then we can have more time to explain them and a bit better setups for those. But just know they're there and they're really cool.
You basically gotta jump while your head is touching the ceiling, and weird things will happen. You'll go places.
This is a very stable engine.
Spin just committed suicide yet again, so that he can fight Force Man to full health. The reason for this is that you'll note that he's using Slash Claw from Mega Man 7, which is a close-range melee weapon. Moves very quickly. So he can just use the weakness and just kill Force Man, but in doing so, it takes up most of his health, which is why he's committing suicide at the start of the fight, so he gets the health back to full.
No, Svin won't be bothering if any more levels from tier 8, because most of those are really, really long. So...
Some are good, so they're not skippable.
Oh, never mind, Svin is doing Bondman.
Right. Route. But, Bondman fact: this is the first level. This was the first level in the game to be submitted.
Bondman stage is a bit interesting because there's glue on the ground which slows you down when you're in it, but you can just slide and nothing really happens. So, hey. Other than that, this stage is kind of... it's there.
Me.
And Bondman the boss, for those of you who don't know, was one of the planned Robot Masters for Mega Man 1, who is not included in the final game. It's in Mega Man 1, as opposed to the 8 in every other game.
So Cheese and Timing are gonna take on Forceman now. So So you wanna see that? There's some slash glow utilization going on there. Let's see, what else could you say?
First main is kind of hard to fight with Slash Claw just because of how much damage he does.
I mean, he's shooting force beams, what do you expect?
I don't know.
Link
I
is
don't
going to go.
expect anything different, but I could hope.
Link is triggering a cutscene right now.
This is one of the few we can't skip, sadly, because once Mega Man picks up the note on the ground, he can't enter any tiers, so we do have to go to the chateau to talk with the guy. But afterwards we just commit suicide to respawn back in the tier.
Get ourselves an E-Tank while we're there.
Hey, Mysterium is now going to be fighting Tier 8's boss, and from the Fangame Rocco-chan. Riveting dialogue. Something interesting is that he's using Super Arrow here and Wire. Allegedly utility weapons, but they do have damage values as well. And because everyone thought, wouldn't it be funny if we used the utility weapon as a boss weakness? Basically, half the bosses in this game are weak to Wire or Super Arrow.
Which makes it a bit awkward to fight some of them, but most of the bosses that have Wire as a weakness do float upwards.
You've already seen that
float
happening
upward.
with the boss of Misty Lake earlier.
Yeah, Journo is also weak to Wire. Jesus is doing Aurora Man at the moment, so put all your Steam 10 memes right now. Actually don't. Don't do that. But yeah, Aurora Man is a pretty chill stage, there's not much going on in it. Meanwhile, Svin is doing Biplane Bay, which is also another stage that's kind of meh.
Sven isn't the one that the audio is coming from, because there's a terrible, terrible remix of Gangplank Galleon that's playing right now. It has, I think it was made with the intention of seeing how many high notes your line could take before it explodes.
You say that, but it's far from the worst audio quality that someone has submitted.
Don't worry, we'll get to that. Oh, we'll get to that.
In chat, Blazeman is a very common fan Robot Master name.
Yep, chat pegged both of the levels I was thinking of right off the bat.
Yep. Chat knows what's up.
Seen that before? Nope. Really riveting dialogue. It's a shame. I hope that you all liked the butter building fighting Jetman on. Shout out to Renhook for programming that in. Which is probably one
that is a really cool arena.
Oh yeah, it's really cool. And the cool tier as well, so it's visually really nice.
I was hoping that we could have Skullman from Rockman 4 minus Infinity as the boss for the so that we could have, you know, Hell Wheel and Heck Wheel. I don't know if this is a family friendly stream.
This twin is doing, was it Blazeman or Volcanic Furnace? I always mix these two up.
Oh, this one's Blazeman.
Yeah,
So-
I was thinking. So he's gonna go and jump over a wall now, which lets him skip all of the stage pretty much, because we have very good collision in this engine, definitely.
I still don't know why that only happens with
Game.
some of the time.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think it's because you have to have a block placed above the block that's on the top of any given screen, so that you can't go over it with wheel cut or anything. Because I think it sort of stretches that out infinitely so that you can't jump over it. But if you don't have that block there, then you can just jump over stuff.
Svin is doing his own stage now, Gunpowder Cellar, and he's gonna... Ah, that was a nice zip over there.
To force your head into ceilings. You'll also note that this game has key doors. A couple of levels in this game have them.
But because of the way they are sized, they are perfect for setting up zips. So you just shoot a super arrow, jump on it, shoot another one, and then you can pretty much just press through the doors. So keys are completely unnecessary in this run. So yay.
Yep, it's nice. It works out really well. The only consistent setup we found for the ceiling zips.
Time Link is gonna just use wheel cutter to skip over a large part of. It's probably saved him like 10-15 seconds. Yes. Right. There's a stage later in the game called Volcanic Furnace that looks almost identical to this one. So we're getting confused.
Which is why, yeah.
But yeah, this stage was added to the run relatively recently once someone figured out you could shave like a minute off the standard runtime.
Svin is fighting his own creation now, Matchman, and it's kind of a brutal fight if you don't know what you're getting yourself into, because Matchman is quite fast and has a lot of invincibility frames. He's weak to Grab Buster, which is a pretty slow-moving projectile, but at least it heals you. Not that it's really that useful for our purposes, but it does damage.
Yeah, it keeps us alive sometimes.
Yeah.
It's from Mega Man 5 for the Game Boy, for those of you keeping track at home. Is now fighting Tier 7's Tier Boss. This is Pepsi Man from the game Pepsi Man, as you all know.
Nope, it's Future from Mega Man Christmas Carol, which is a game that one of the judges for this game has made, and Future can be quite the hassle to deal with sometimes, because he can throw quite a lot of size at you, slow down time, and when he dies he shoots a lot of flames out, and I've died to those flames more times than I would like to admit personally.
Oh yeah, one thing we haven't really mentioned yet. Some of the levels are able to disable some of your weapons, so they're non-options.
Yeah.
That's why we aren't always using the super arrow all the time.
Because some level creators just want to be modders.
Move on to Tier 6, and my friend Amelia's level, Changeable Caverns. This is a fun little level. We're going to see some interesting use of Sakugarne, which it's about to use to skip over some spikes because you can bounce off them.
Completely logical, you see. There are also these weird drill enemies in this stage that come from the ceiling, and those are actually, I think, unused enemies in Mega Man 1 for the Game Boy. Correct me if I'm wrong, though.
There's a lot of Mega Man 1 for Game Boy stuff in this engine. Marked as such explicitly. I think it's right, because the dev kit sorted these by game for the most part, but the Mega Man 1 for Game Boy stuff was put in with Mega Man 1 for NES, which is... Link is going to use Rush Jet here because he's out of Super Arrow. Rush Jet is slower than Super Arrow, but
at least you can
in some
control
cases
your height.
better.
Alright, Link is going to Crystal Cavern now, and this stage has a...
Oh,
this
Crystal
stage has
Lab.
Oh yeah, Crystal Lab, my bad. This stage has a secret pathway when you go through a wall.
Yep,
because
it's a
of course-
shortcut straight to the end of the stage that has only instant death and no checkpoints.
Yep.
Big risk.
You beat the stage in like 1 minute, so
If you
This-
do everything well.
breaks, runs.
Also, the sounds these platforms makes, yeah, very good sound.
Maneuver to skip a bunch of stuff.
So in this vertical section you can see a good use of wheel cutter to climb up walls faster. Very handy. And now we have another death kit. Another death kit boss. Chillman from Mega Man 10. Actually his hard mode variant, because he has this one attack where he jumps up and throws chill spikes everywhere.
He uses it. You can
Yep.
use wire. Not that Time Link is doing that right now, but... And that makes the fight slightly easier.
Chillman is one of the few bosses that's weak to wire that it's just really hard to use against. A lot of the other ones make sense, not Chillman.
Time Link is in Nitrogen Man now, and this stage is so empty you can just fly over everything with Super Arrow pretty much. There are these water jets that freeze you, but it's pretty irrelevant if you just fly over everything, honestly.
If you're on Super Hour, it doesn't even matter if you're frozen. You still... Say this room Time Link is in. You can hypothetically jump up there with Rush Coil. Is right. I think a lot of time has been wasted trying to get that perfectly.
And here we have Chillman again, because of course. But this time with some Kirby music.
Boy, this is fun.
Get ready to pull out all your Joe jokes, because we're in Duang now. This stage only really gets interesting at the end, and until then it's just flying over everything.
One interesting thing, that this stage has a secret part where you can get a lot of E-tanks and such.
And that X. Link is going to skip it, okay. Link, please.
I've said that before.
But I guess we can explain what E and M tanks are. E-tanks or energy tanks are used to refill your health, and you can hold 9 of those at a time. M tanks refill your health and all of your weapon energies, but you can only hold 1. Now Link is at the interesting section. If you saw that arrow there, it says don't turn to the left, and if you do, insta-kill. Bunch of hands come out and just kill you.
They're also really loud.
Yes. Not the loudest thing in the
Terrifying.
game though, that goes to another stage that will
Are
be
you
skipped.
sure?
I think the
pretty
station
loud.
is louder.
Oh, okay, there's that.
Yeah. Thankfully we'll be skipping that stage. Time Link is in Lava Factory now, and this stage... This stage...
To destroy a block. There are some blocks in this game that can only be destroyed with certain weapons. Which I don't know how many of them we'll run into on the path that we're going on, but yeah.
Usually those are marked so you can actually see them, but not in this stage for some reason. So you may have seen it earlier, there was an energy element there, but we don't have a way to reach it right now. Maybe someday.
See, there. Saves lives.
So
moving on to the tier boss? Or no?
Link, what to do?
Just an ice.
Huh.
Okay.
Interesting. So just
it has
ice level.
two paths, so I think.
Yeah, it has two pathways, but both lead to this. Both give you the same energy element, even though it should be two separate ones. That's the weird bug, I think.
I think we just overlooked it.
Yeah, probably. The bottom path is apparently shorter because timing is taking that one.
Oh yeah, it's way shorter.
Because you won't have to deal with some wind currents like in the upper path.
There's a lot to deal with in the upper path.
Oh yeah, the upper path is penguin spam and yes, I'll say it, invisible ladder. There you go.
Something worth noting is that you used iframe abuse. You'll note that they're all going to make Mega Man face in the opposite direction of the direction they want to go, so that when they get hit, they'll move in the direction they want to go, because they go backwards, but not really. Your boss. Very stable engine.
Definitely.
As you are likely Groaning, you're familiar with this from Rockman CX, a infamously difficult
Rock.
has an insta-kill attack.
No, it's not insta-kill, it just drops you down to 1 HP. Still dangerous.
Anyway, he's weak to Super Arrow, which makes short work.
Now Link is going into tier 2, so now we're getting to the bottom of the barrel stages.
Yeah. We've worked our way down to around the halfway point. Now we're going straight to almost the bottom and working our way back up.
Because the hub is designed very well and coherently, obviously.
So, in this stage is Wily Tower. What Time Link is doing now is kind of a boss rush. As it happens, he's using possibly the 3 most overused bosses in the game in succession. For Mega Man, for the DOS.
He's weak to Super Arrow. And what Link is gonna do now is commit suicide in this room because he respawns in the later section of this room. Because the developer of this room of this stage didn't think that anyone would die in this room. So, yay.
I don't think the developer of the stage thought at all about that.
So we skipped from Loser Man, and here we have Quint from Mega Man for the Game Boy, Mega Man 2 for the Game Boy.
He's the one who gives you the pogo stick weapon, which is why he's weak to it.
Metal Man Syndrome.
He's significantly harder in this game than he is in the source material, where he is a complete joke. Oh boy.
So
tier 2
is Airflow Hubbard, and it has a skip teleporter, which quite a few stages have in tiers 1 and 2 and also 3.
Actually, I don't. 2 and 3 have all the big. Oh, this is
Tier 1 has a few.
This level for you, Yggdrasil.
Yeah. So this is a
another one of the
very
stages where we-
stage, but we just do the death abuse on the skip teleporters. In a no-skip run, we actually do this stage.
It's a nice quality stage.
In a no-skip run, we actually...
We are not
actually
skipping
do-
the pretty stage. It is not a pretty stage. It is
It's beautiful.
full hockey sticks. It is cruel. Oh god.
Could be worse. Alright, now Link is doing a Rush City where, first of all, we got... Oh, that was a backward zip.
This level has a weird super arrow zip that happens sometimes and doesn't other times.
Anyways, this stage has 2 energy elements at the end. And one you get just for beating the stage, and there's another one you get for doing a wave bike section. And normally you would have to just replay the stage twice, but we like going fast, so we're just gonna do the death abuse again.
Just use Triple Blade for Mega Man 10. This is actually a very useful weapon because it eats through
It's
a
a nice
lot of
powerhouse.
the game.
Yeah, if you're really close to enemies, you just hit them with all 3 blades and it does a lot of damage. Now the side of these blocks are actually spikes, even though the maker of the stage said they aren't, so good job.
I don't know. I've
sorry.
rubbed against them. I don't know what's up with those blocks. Like, I've rubbed against them and not died.
It's weird.
Very weird.
I was gonna say also has slight utility usage because it's one of the few weapons in the game that can aim downwards if you use it while jumping. So that's
Oh,
useful. It's occasionally useful for things like chill blocks.
Now we're at Gigavolt, man. This stage has quite a funny story to it. When it first was submitted, it crashed, and no one knew why. And the crash reason was because one of the crushers was misplaced by 1 pixel.
It crashed consistently every time you played this. Every time you entered that room, by the way. So
Yes.
pretty impressive that managed to get submitted that way.
Pretty impressive that that was even a thing.
That
Like,
too.
how did that happen?
You can do that a lot in this game. Skip over many super arrow over their heads.
Some mini-bosses do have invisible walls that get destroyed when they're defeated, but lower tier levels usually didn't account for that.
Cheese just did a successful Rush City Zip, which saves you like 2 seconds. Another Voltman fight here. It's fun.
Because everyone thinks Obscure Robot Master,
Ooh.
I'll use it.
What is it here?
Oh yeah, Entity made a good point.
Entity is making a good point, yes. In this game, you can fight forever, which is different. You can also slide over 1-tile gaps, which I don't think you can do in some of the official games. Or maybe you can, I'm just forgetting. A little weird.
Yeah, are people ragging on Galaxy Man music?
Aww. I mean, it's a good theme, but when you hear it so much while testing the game and stuff, it drones on.
It was the default music, so there were like, what, 5 stages that forgot to change it?
If not more.
In Lab Lair, this has a skip in it, but if you do it wrong, you lose 25 minutes. 25 seconds, rather.
25 minutes!
25 minutes!
Oh,
25
Back to the
whole
beginning of the
hours.
run. You're forced to reset.
You have
Dang!
If you do it, you have to, like, it teleports you into, like, a Saharan desert, and you have to walk back.
You have to play Desert Bus. Jokes aside, here is the Mecha Dragon from Mega Man 2, and there's no bottomless pit, so you can just pogo stick him to death. Very easy.
But we're skipping the ones where he doesn't show up. Over. I'm not using words right. Oh, this is everyone's favorite level, Colorful Hall.
This stage.
Oh,
This stage also has a split path at the end. One just goes to a boss fight, and the other one goes to a quiz! That's complete bull honky.
the quiz is definitely the star of the show, but the whole level, the whole way through is just...
The problem with the quiz is, first you have to know about the stage, which, okay, that's
Well-
good. Then you have to know about the Shrek movie.
And then
The
you have,
third time
and then
you
the
can't
third question.
read.
Yeah, the third question, the floor you're supposed to read it from doesn't exist, so you just fall past it into a room full of men who want to step on you.
Step on you. God, I wish that could be me. I'm doing one of those hip memes that the kids like nowadays.
But yeah, we're gonna do the quiz first, and then we're gonna do the death abuse again. Because who wants to do a stage twice? Shrek forever ever after.
Okay, just doing that exit is only takes 1 minute. That surprises me. This takes a lot longer for me on casual runs.
Okay, here's Gutsman. And a strat that we usually use here is to use semi-charged shots, because they deal more damage than than uncharged shots, but less than fully charged ones, but they're faster than fully charged ones, so it's faster to do it this way. I think his weakness... Yeah,
He's weak to
Sakugane's his
Sakugan.
weakness.
But there's no point in using it here. 'cause
This man
move
is
way too
only weak
brutal.
to Sakugane, or Super Arrow, which you've already probably, hopefully, used most of by then.
Dash Stopper, but that's really slow. So I think it might be slower than actually being him legit.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright,
Tier
now
2's boss.
we're gonna fight Ombudsman from Mega Man 42. And no, don't ask what an Ombudst is. We don't know either. He's weak to Triple Blade, so... just Triple Blade him to death.
Oh, he didn't get to throw out his fax machine.
Oh. He couldn't send your fax.
Just jumped back into tier 2 and back out to skip a cutscene, if you're wondering.
This is why we're doing it in this order, because when we exit the tiers we do in this order, we can just re-enter them while the cutscene starts to skip it. Speaking of skip, here's Jumpman, which we're gonna skip.
A lot of levels in this tier. We're gonna skip them 3 in a
Yeah,
row.
tier 3 we actually collect every energy element from, because if a level isn't super short and empty, it's the worst thing, and it has a skip teleporter.
Super
Yes.
sweet.
Tier 3 is notorious for having levels that are just either enemy spam or just levels that are really long and complex, or just have one checkpoint at the middle, and if you die at the end you have to redo everything. So
I just have a really good joke. Remind me to make it when we go to one of the other runners goes to tier 3.
okay. So now we're in Combustman stage, which is a pretty empty stage, all things considered. But at least it's not anything that could kill you. Except the boss, he's the toughest thing ever. Like, oof.
The sarcasm things. When you say the opposite of the truth is a joke.
Oh, I'm saying the truth. What do you mean?
Combust Man has an explosive personality. Put it at that.
Yes.
This is the least offensive stage in tier 3. Although I actually like Megalando, which we skipped.
I mean, I do too, but I can see the problems with it.
Everyone get ready for Combust Man.
Blink and you'll miss it. Wow, that was hard. Okay, next up, the dampening. And thankfully, we have found a skip for this stage. Because otherwise, this
Well,
would
we
have
say
been
thankfully, but that means it has to be in the route.
I mean, the part we skip is the most offensive part, so... like,
Aside from the music, yes.
the music is very low quality for some reason.
The super
But
upset,
yeah.
but it's not an easy one.
Yeah, Link is set it up right now.
Yeah,
And he
That
nails
one.
it, awesome.
nice. That zip is one of the few that we do, even though it's not one of the ones we can set up easily, just because it saves a ton of
Spin's
time.
one. I got Spin's one. Nice of the dev team to invite us to a skip teleporter, eh, Luigi? Sorry.
Huh?
I hope she made lots of energy elements.
Sorry.
Uh,
Right. Time Link just got 2 free E-tanks by shooting them.
more like 3 tanks. And the boss of this stage is just find the energy element.
Hey, it's funny.
And get ready for the best track in the whole game, it's Taco Man!
Oh boy.
Hello.
Yeah, we're getting a preview of this Sudoku block here.
You know that song that goes beep ba boop ba doop deep ba deep ba deep deep ba deep ba deep ba doop doop?
Nah, man, you mean boop-a-dee-ba-ba-dee-ba-dee-ba-doop. We're just spotting memes at this point.
I don't even know how the meme goes.
Someone should make that meme with Taco Man.
Honestly, I never watched SpongeBob growing up, so I don't even know. Oh, the best thing about the wire utility is that it lets you headbang.
Yes. And Taco Man is actually a custom boss, which is pretty impressive considering the quality of the rest of the stage.
Bitch. Should I be a...
Okay, next up, Candy Pan. Again, this is a pretty barren stage as well. Yeah. It has two paths. It has two paths and... yeah.
If you manage to fall into the lower one, it's probably faster to just start the stage again.
Wait, the lower one? What do you mean? The... Shame?
The deadly chocolate.
Okay, the shame.
There's a really great... we're making memes, but because we're skipping over all the signs in this stage that have the stage has the vintage X, so we put X in your X, so you can X while you're X. It has that meme in it, but we skipped over that text box because we don't have the time. So memes peaked in 2005, so...
The boss in this stage is Metal Man, and you know he's weak to Metal Blade, and we have a weapon that reflects Metal Blade, so yeah. Easy.
It's for Mega Man 9, for those of you at home keeping score. Is a really good shield weapon.
I would say it's the best shield weapon, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's the best shield weapon ever in these games. It's had some marginal use in 100% runs because you can just stand under enemy spawners and just let them drop items on you, and then you can get a lot of bolts really easily that way.
Bolt is the currency.
Dual Satellite has a ton of uses in the normal stages too, just because it's a better way to go. Like you don't.
Sorry.
If you put it on, you don't have to stop your stuff.
Fighting Doorman from Mega Man Rocks, the old Mega Man Fangame by Eric Ruth.
He has a lot of health bars, but when you shave off one of them, the energy element just pops out of a room. So you can grab it. And another cutscene skip.
I mean, this game has some really great life advice. If you have a problem, just duck into like a train station or something and then just pop your head back out when the problem goes away. And if the problem doesn't go away, then just commit suicide.
Okay,
my stream is still going.
All your problems, really.
So the first stage of Tier 4, or I mean, it's not really a stage, it's just a boss fight. Alien Temple is just a boss fight, like I said, and that's all there is to it. It's weak to Hunter Chaser and easy energy element.
Not the... This fight's basically RNG, so it's really short, so even if you have an extra 10 seconds that you shouldn't, it's still shorter than most of the stages in the run.
Now Link is going to Joe Destruction Company, and this is a stage that has surprisingly few Joes considering the name. Let's see if he Let's see if anyone gets killed by the... No, Link completely prevents it. This stage can be kind of brutal at times because you do a lot of damage boosting past a lot of Joes, and they do a lot of damage actually.
And also, the easiest places to die are right before the first checkpoint in the stage, so...
Which is great.
It's way too easy to lose time there.
The Dual Satellite is really useful for those falling rocks.
Nice headbang. Neon Man. This stage has a gimmick that can make you quite disoriented, which is why I got a skip teleporter. Although I do like the gimmick personally. Now Link is going to our station. This stage is notorious for having a gimmick that soft locks you a lot, so that's the reason it got a skip teleporter. And here we are, this is a stage we can talk about something. Shuffle Knight. This stage has death warps in it, and which is pretty great for speedruns because you can just go to the death warps and skip the whole stage. And most of those don't even take any effort to go to, except the last one.
I found one of them by accident on my first time through.
Nice. What?
That happened.
What the heck?
Never noticed, but the ready text actually is behind the blocks. It's kind of funny. Not really interesting. And then big fish.
Wow, that RNG.
So here, Polar Knight is the only one that takes a bit of effort, but if you have wheel counter, it's not that bad.
In death, the stage took Link just over 1 minute. In level, you see those tornado batteries from Mega Man 9? Those are somehow even worse in this game than in their original game. Skip.
It's a bad gimmick just in general.
Okay, good. Nobody got crushed by the music credits.
Awesome. So we won't have to talk about it.
Really? Yeah. There's a second element in that stage, but there's no point in getting it because it's actually kind of long, even if you go in from the first point. This boss might require a bit of setup. The two bosses here are on the left. We have Scorchman from the Mega Man bootleg game Super Hero Z. And on the right, we have Scorchman from Mega Man Sunrise, the Game Boy themed fan game. Thinking about which is better, and then they figure the one who kills Mega Man is superior. It's here that makes this fight a lot easier. Get hit by Scorchman during their fusion scene here. Frozen, and you can just slash them to death during the cutscene. So that's fun.
Next up is Tier 5, and we're going into the holy level City War, which was an entry to the first Magma, and it has a lot of problems with collision and pretty much everything.
It quite nearly got the least favorite for all 5 judges.
It was the second worst level, and the only reason it wasn't was because the worst level was just nothing.
Actually nothing.
There were like just rubble blocks in it. This level is actually really easy here because you have so many utilities that let you go over long horizontal stretches. But in the source game, you would see that the collision on the stage is complete garbage. Here's that stage that we always confuse with Blaze Man, Volcanic Furnace.
Volcanic Furnace is a great, just straightforward stage. There's nothing at all that you have to slow down for.
Time to take questions from the chat.
Yeah, we've got a bit of downtime at the moment.
My Twitch handle is M, and it's the numeral 2 JACQ.
Why
I love the thinking emoji too. We have something in common, Pooks.
Thinking emote is best emote.
Svin just accidentally got the judge comments up. So these levels were ranked according to the opinions of 5 judges. When we get to the Wily stages in the second half of this run, 5 were created by the judges for this contest. Just so you wonder, you know, are these good Mega Man levels?
Some
It depends on your definition of good. Only are Mega Man levels, except for the one that's Mario level, which we don't do in this run.
Cough.
What is my least favorite stage? Oh boy, that is a loaded question. I can't say for me personally. I think that Rush City stage, it's largely just empty.
Why is the collision handling in this engine so good? Because the engine is very stable. Obviously.
And Frank Planet, if you're wondering, this game can be downloaded at, I think the URL is magmalcontest.com. mlcontest.com. And that has a download link for... And the game is equal to. And it has information on the upcoming third Make a Good Mega Man level contest, which... I think submissions will be open for that sometime this year. Don't quote me on that.
Hopefully.
A good 48-hour contest, which is like a mini version of it, that hopefully will come out before that.
Actually, let me put the Magma link here real quick. Oh, but... Or Entity can just snipe it, okay.
I have a favorite bad level. I actually greatly enjoyed the dampening, which is
How
weird
dare
unpopular
you?
opinion.
Really?
How dare you?
I
You're
actually
weird.
like it.
That's my least favorite.
No, I also really like Megalondo. I think it plays criminally low just because it has no checkpoints. But if you're good at platforming, then it's actually very fun.
PK, what would you say is your favorite level? Sheriff Man, definitely. I love Sheriff Man.
Yeah, we skip all the good levels, so yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of really good levels that we just don't play because they take too long.
It's a little sad.
Is the dev kit done yet?
Man for All Seasons. This is a very odd level based on the book A Man for All Seasons. Rather than having a standard Mega Man level setup, you go through the same portion of level 4 times over the course of 9 months and learn facts about the life of Sir Thomas More.
This stage is just adorable.
Dr. Light, and then Renaissance Fair garb.
Also, the boss in this stage has no iframes, so we can just insta-kill Kamuzu Man pretty much with Wheel Cutter.
That adorable guillotine behind Mega Man. It's made with random tiles from like 5 different stages. It's fun.
It's cute.
Oh, what's our most and least favorite custom entry bosses?
Ooh.
We'll fight my favorite. Oh, I guess you're saying entry bosses, but there's one Wily boss in particular that I think is... Actually, there are a lot of Wily bosses I think are actually very fun to fight.
Yeah.
Except we're skipping one of them. Spoilers.
Cough, cough.
It's hard to... There are so many good ones that it's hard to decide on a favorite entry boss. Least favorite would probably be Crater.
Oh, yes, we skipped over the bosses in Yggdrasil. For good reason, because they're all mean. Entry boss is probably Matchman, because I found his butt. When I finally beat him, I felt like, oh, you know, this is something that I can do. I just needed to figure out the pattern and such.
Yeah, Management is brutal, but once you get to know him a bit, it's more manageable.
Mine might be Boil Man. It's a good pattern, and it's like it actually feels like a very classic Mega Man boss. The same with Sheriff Man too. It's so hard to decide.
So get your 2009 memes ready because we're fighting cats, and all your memes are belong to us now.
If we go through this game, we're just gonna get older and older memes. We're eventually just gonna get like the dancing baby is gonna show up as the final boss of like Mega Man Level 3.
Don't spoil it, jeez.
There's the secret weapon is just that S that's made up of 6 lines, and then you sort of draw in another 6 lines to make it.
What even is that from?
The original meme. Time Link is now gonna fight the Tier 5 tier boss. This is kind of an awkward.
It's our Lord and Savior.
Throw. He was not actually a boss from the game, Dr. Wily's final attack. He was the weapon that you got from beating Brian Man, the special hidden boss in that game. Originally, he gave you E-tanks and stuff. He passive. I mean, Link just destroyed the boss in like 5 seconds, but
He's one of the tougher bosses in the tiers.
It's also weird because like he used Sankarane against it, right? Sometimes I just if I don't do something weird before entering that room, Sankarane just goes through him. He doesn't take damage.
Link's in tier 1 now, which means we're getting to see the best
The real
of
bottom
the best.
barrel.
Yes.
hello.
And when he entered tier 1, he did another suicide to skip the intro cutscene for that one. So yeah. So the first level he did was Snowman, which had a skip, and now he's doing Cardinal Man, which he's also gonna skip. Cardinal Man has 3 energy elements, which is great for skip percent. So yeah.
We
Also
actually
in a
do get
casual-
all 3 in a no-skip speedrun too, because they all manage to be fast.
It's just kind of awkward to figure out first time playing.
Oh yes.
But Cardinal Man is
Cardinal
actually
Man
a good
does not
stage.
make enough sense.
But it's a good stage for grinding E and M tanks because they're right at the start of the stage. Right, now here you see what a stage looks like without any graphics.
This is default music in this engine, by the way. But it also, this engine came with a copy of Pharaoh Man's stage for Mega Man 4 with a remix of music.
This stage didn't have an energy element at the end, it just had END written all over it. So Snowrun Pyro had to insert an energy element manually.
The isotope, and will it cause meltdown? Yes and yes.
Default types of music, okay, and yes.
You just fall down. Shoot. Some kind of cute type art. Just using going on. So.
Yeah, the fall is weird. And now, you mentioned it already, Pharaoh Man's stage was already in the dev kit, so here's Ancient Tomb, which is Pharaoh Man's stage, with a cat.
Those flies at the very beginning. Time Link did not do what your say super arrow energy, but you can also go up to the very top of the screen, and then that skips over basically every single element on the bottom.
There's the cat.
Well, I suppose Egyptians like cats, so it's like flavor.
Another thing to keep in mind for when we get to the end of the stage, Pharaoh Man was a dev kit boss. So just keep that in mind for later.
Yeah, this is the last... Oh, I'm sorry. There's one last thing that we do to get the 65th element. This is actually the only bad thing about going from 10th place to first tier 10 to tier 1, which is that from the game Mega Man Square Root of -1, because we killed Butter Nizumi, we're now fighting Strawberry Milk.
No.
I think it is possibly a slower cut, or a faster cutscene though, so maybe it's not bad.
I would say the cutscene is faster.
It's not like it matters because it's saved like 2 seconds maybe.
But it's still a save. So the reason we did tier 1 last was because
Is that we can
skip the first half of this cutscene.
It's so dark, and then you just sort of duck back into the tunnel and you go back out and slide again. In this cutscene.
So I guess we can explain what happened in the skipped cutscene. Wily appeared with his new Wily Star 2, and he is threatening to destroy everything, obviously. Now we don't have a way to go over there, but
I don't know. It was sort of vague. He just threatened to fight with the. He threatened with us with his weapon, the reality cannon, and who knows what that means.
yeah.
The energy elements we collected turned into a spaceship, and now we're going into space after him. This is the second
Now it's
half.
time for Wily Stage 1, which was made not by one of the judges, but...
This is Wily Stage 0, technically.
Oh yeah, my bad.
This was made by the Stove Guy.
Which was an entrant and also one of the main programmers for this game. This stage is kind of weird because sometimes it takes longer and sometimes it doesn't. This is... yeah.
Yeah, all the enemies that you fight are randomly generated, and how long the stage takes also ends up being random.
Board 5555, one of the speedrunners, makes a very good point in the chat. If press 2 and kill yourself to skip the cutscene that we just went through, are going to hardlock your game. So don't do that.
He was trying to go too
If you skip the second half of the cutscene, I think you lock yourself out of every tier, so you can't do anything except walk around. If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, just don't do that. It's not fun.
Everyone's going to think back up the time like because the Wily stages, you fight them in a linear order. These just take much longer than the regular game because we can't cherry pick the shortest ones.
And they are quite tough.
Oh yeah, they're hard.
So don't meme about that. You know what I said it? They're gonna meme about that. Yay.
Oh, they can meme about that, sure.
Meme us on.
Minutes, or it could take 220 or 9 to scroll off screen. I think that might be it, whether the lines scroll off screen or not.
Maybe. So the boss here is Vanguard, and it's weak to Slash Claw. How does Mega Man slash one in the spaceship?
Grows like a claw.
Nice. So Vanguard has 2 health bars, and in the second phase he creates these walls up on the ceiling at the bottom, but it's pretty irrelevant if we just Slash Claw him to death.
But it actually has 3 health bars.
Yeah,
Now, don't get hit. That hurts.
oh no, did you? Oh, Hi, Link, watch out.
Link, no. What are you doing?
Oh no.
That would be such a bad way to lose a run. Okay, here we are, Wily Stage 1, which was made by the first judge and host of Mega 1 and 2, Snoran Pyro. This stage is called Water Ducts.
Water ducts. That lobster we just killed was from Boilman stage, which is one of the upper place entries with custom enemies that we skipped.
As well as that vulture, which was from Sheriff Man. And these levels on the floor are from Hauntman.
Yep. The horizontal
Wily stage, like any
mayhem. This is one of the few stages that actually does use. Anyway.
Now, Water Ducts may be one of the toughest stages in the run.
Oh yeah, it's by far one of the easiest to die in.
And that's mostly because of the main gimmick, which is the upside down water from Centerman stage, which crushes up and down and changes your movement in the air. So you gotta gauge when the water comes down so you can actually jump well. And it's very hard to get messed up on that. Also, this Paccato is a bit darker, which means it's invincible, so you can't damage it at all. Do it! Dad! Oh, Link, no! Oh no. No. Ah, that hurts.
Is it time to make my thrilling comeback from over stage behind? Probably not.
There's always the chance.
Link could die another times in Wily 1. That's always an option. Someone will need to ping Gariri.
Oh no.
That might result in you getting back on track.
No.
Yeah, Wily 1 is a really tense stage, especially as you get further into it.
Yeah, it's just
It does not let up.
sweat-inducing.
There are no lives in this game, so why not just refill your life?
Yeah, that's very useful.
Usually you don't care because you just beat the stage. But Wily 1, actually, we have gone perfect enough.
And here's the auto-scroll of YD1, and this is also one of the more difficult parts of it.
One of the hardest auto-scrollers I've ever experienced. It doesn't even feel too slow, like, ever, even as a speedrunner.
Yeah, you always get the feeling like there's something happening you gotta do, and you're not just waiting around. At least it isn't like super ridiculous fast, that would be just not even.
Lobster has internalized one of the jump off the pit.
Alright, Link is finally at the boss of YD1, and it's the Bubble Machine from Mega Man 1. Actually, no, it's Mecha Bubble Man. And
These weeks are Hornet Chaser, which hits him even when he's off screen. So
very, very good.
fun fight if you're doing a buster only.
Now it's time for Droopy.
The Wily Stage 2, made by Droopy Hornet. The stage is called Classic Castle. The stage also has possibly the most audacious skip in the game. We are going to skip the entire last third of the level, including the boss. The obvious.
But until we get to that, this stage is also pretty tense.
Mostly because all your utilities are taken away from you. You can't use Wheel Cutter or Super Arrow or anything to save yourself or go faster or anything.
Yeah.
You mess up, you're probably going to die.
Generally, in the Wily stages, it's not really about going fast, it's just about surviving. So here we can see the use of Flash Stopper to stop the Yoku blocks, so we can do the puzzle in one cycle.
Claw is very useful here because these enemies are shielded a lot of the times, but Slash Claw pierces that.
Link is using an M-Tank now, because he just got another one, so
Don't have
that's...
one at a time.
yeah. So
Seven.
that's just general inventory management.
If you're talking about the boss of Wily 5, we do fight that in this run.
So get excited for that.
Again. Okay, get ready everyone, we're about to do the skip. Super. Very close to the skip.
Or not! That was... that was the jump of a hero. Alright, now we're gonna enter the last section, and where we actually enter, the boss room is right to the left of us, so we shoot a triple blade to the left and kill the boss.
And we just spawn the energy element in that room and skip the entire last third of the stage.
Mm-hmm.
Right, next up
That
is
bug-
Wily 3, which is called Lever Oriental Enchanted, which is made by the next judge, Angel.
That exploit was actually found in an earlier version of this game and patched out, but
Everyone...
devs actually put it back. The devs actually patched it back into the game to make the most updated version also the best for speedrunning, so that's really cool of them.
Mostly everyone just yelled at the devs.
That's still really cool of them that they actually
Yep.
did that.
Yeah, that's huge props to them.
Probably the easiest of the 5 Wily stages.
If you're going for the perfect run achievements, this is the one I would recommend, personally.
But that's
Or maybe Wily 0, but eh.
because you can use dual satellite to cheese a lot of it. It's more fun to run though. It's not just hoping for RNG. Here is also incredibly fun to do. And the Wily stages during a speedrun, where you have fun bosses that you don't, because you either skip them like the Wily 2 boss, or you just cheese through them with weaknesses.
Especially the next boss, because the next boss has no invincibility frame, so you can just plow through him. Or them.
Worth noting, this stage disables a lot of utilities, so
Just like Wily 2. But we have Wheel Cutter at least, so we can do some pretty cool tricks in this room especially.
it's like streams got really bad all of a sudden. That was unfortunate. You
I
can
mean,
see
it's fine for me. It's fine for me, honestly.
all the streams got bad.
That's your internet then.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, so the boss of Wily 3 are the Riblings. And because they have no iframes, you can either just hit them with Grab Buster when it's not when they're not
Triple
in range, or you can Ripper Blade them to death really easily. Alright. Here we go now.
Wily 4 is rather famous.
Wily 4 Inner Sanctum, made by Garil.
Okay. This one slid through a hole in the wall that he's using the Mega Buster here instead of trying to cheese it because it has restricted his weapons so that he can only use the Buster.
The whole theme of Wily 4 is that it only allows you to use one weapon at a time.
Yeah. And this Sakugane section, these electric blocks you see here, they deal half your health, but in an earlier version of this stage, it were spikes that kill you instantly.
A quarter of your health right now.
Quarter, okay. So I think you can see the problematics that were in earlier versions of this stage. It was nerfed after a lot of public outcry.
I see that half the people in the chat have already started posting the copy pasta. Maybe I'll read it.
Thanks guys, thanks guys. So Link is doing the Rush chat section here. Now, we actually have a choice between 3 sections, but the Rush chat one is the fastest. And if we're not going for Noble Nickels, we only have to do one of them.
Have to do all 3 of them on the same run to get a
On the same
door open.
Not on the same run, I think. I think the key coin's safe.
No, you can die in between.
Yeah. Otherwise that would be...
Can you go into that with a super arrow? Yep. I wonder if it's a key door. Arrow?
This is probably the most infamous section of the stage.
Actually, I don't think you can zip into where the nickel is behind the key door, but you can zip in to where the 2 upper coins are. So it still works out.
But yeah, the tricky part about this super arrow section is you can only have 3 of them on screen at a time, and it gets really hectic to try to manage those. Anyways, here's Gravity Man for some reason. And depending on when you defeat him, you either take the upper path or the lower path. I think the upper path is a bit faster,
Oh, it's much faster.
because the lower path forces you to use wire adapter, and the upper path lets you use True Satellite and just run through everything. It looks a bit crazy, but it's really, really easy, honestly.
If you're a good chat, I'll read the Wily 4 copy pasta very dramatically just for you.
So now we get every special weapon, I think, and we can go into all of these doors to get Noble Nickels, but of course we won't. So here's the last section, the wave bike section. God, talking is hard. And this is pretty much the easiest section of the whole level.
I'm dying here.
Watch them die here. And he didn't, okay. Now it's time for the boss, which, just like the gimmick of the level, makes you use weapons to defeat it. Meet Autobounce. And depending on how he looks like, that's the weapon you're gonna use against him. The only one you really need to watch out for is the Grab Buster one, because when he hits you with that, he heals actually. So, that may lose your time.
It is a bit
Also
of
Slash
RNG. It is a bit of RNG though, because Sakugane can take ages to get where you can hit him.
Yeah. Also Slash Claw can go completely mental if you're not careful.
Yeah, Slash Claw actually speeds up the longer it stays in motion, so
That could
you can
look
go
very
off the rails
ridiculous.
in no time. 0 to 100. Well, no, like 0 to like 50 or something, and then 100.
Do you know if Autobounce is still a full energy refill in the arena? Yes, it is. And here we are, YD5. It's called...
Unobtainium mine.
and it's made by Spark. The main gimmick of this stage are these magnets, which either pull or repel you, and you get a shield on your front right now, and later you get one on your back, and you get some cool puzzles with that.
Of course, that's not why people love the stage. We'll see.
Exactly. The boss is the real highlight. But we'll get to that one shortly. First of all, here we have a skip. By not jumping on the platform, we actually skip a semi-auto-scroller section where you just have to defeat some enemies and can just fall right down. Now we got the shield on our backs.
Boy, let's see it.
Let's see if anyone dies on Wily 4.
Uh-oh. Pressure's on.
Yep. You better do it perfectly.
I almost jumped off a brush jet.
Alright, and now we get some pretty nice build-up for the YD5 boss.
Anyone here play Gunstar Heroes?
Because if so, the next boss might look very familiar. Say hello to 7th Force. As the name implies, it's 7 variants of different forms, and yeah, the boss is probably the best boss in the game in my opinion, because it's just...
Miss, you're gonna have to Pingariri. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Missed, no. But anyways, 7th Force. A lot of the forms have... Well, most of the forms, actually all of the forms, have weaknesses, but it's personally much more fun to fight them with the Buster, but Avian Force is very weak to wire, as well as Lobster Force.
Did you just say Alien Force?
No, Avian, or whatever it's called.
Falcon Force.
Devil Force is very weak to wire as well. And now it's time for the last form. Sakugane Force. And just like we did with Quint earlier, we just gotta pogo the pogo to win at pogo.
The damage race, yes.
Yeah. Now, the boss dying is a good point to maybe get a sip of water or something if you're thirsty, as well as the start of the next stage.
Yep. So now
Because
Time Link is on to Wily 6, which is the other half of the Wily stages.
Yes, it's that long. So first there's just an auto-scroller that's pretty underwhelming, nothing to it, just start to the stage, and then we get a cutscene.
Cutscene. If you die here, it really hurts.
Yeah. Because auto-scrollers are pain.
going to fire the reality cannon. The result will be music.
Help? Okay. No ping for me. Good.
Good job. Okay, so Wily has fired their reality can, which means all of reality has become scrambled. And that's what Wily 6 is. It's a mashup of pretty much everything.
Played Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I like how I'm saying that as though it's a conditional statement. The Subspace Emissary's Great Maze.
Yeah, I guess it's similar to that. Also, don't remind me of that, that was pain. It's not fun if you have to record all of Subspace Emissary in one setting.
Wha- Well, I never had to, so I think it was good.
So anyways, the main bulk of the maze is just sections from existing Mega Man stages. But then later on you will find some places that teleport you somewhere else. So once we get to that, we'll get to that.
Here's the Hollow Dragon, like the Vanilla Dragon in Street 2. But I think it dies slightly easier.
Also, both dragons we fight in this run are above solid ground, so the whole difficulty is just completely gone.
Look everyone, it's The Fall Part 2.
Trademark. Okay, here's the middle room, which is where you get teleported after clearing the mashup rooms we're gonna be getting into very soon.
As you recall, the stages in this game were split up to 10 tiers. There are 5 little mini segments of this maze, each of which mashes up 2 consecutive tiers in the game, using elements from those entries. And since this one mashes up elements from tiers 7 and 8.
It was made by B28.
Well, the bouncy castle.
Bouncy boy.
So this segment here comes from Gone Sovereign's level, City Under Siege, which he likes very much. You obviously have not played this level during the... It's because, as you can tell, there's an auto-scroller, so we skipped this level.
So in all these mashups you may recognize some levels, you may not. It all depends on what we did in the run, obviously. This is also a reason it's recommended to do all of the tier stages before going to Wily Castle, so you don't get really spoiled by anything. But you're watching this right now, so oops.
We're not gonna say, oh, this references this stage you didn't play, because we'd be here all night.
Anyways, this is relevant.
Oh, this one's worth mentioning. This is a 128 ups level, spiky situation. Which is,
And you may recognize the spikes, and yeah, it's inspired by one of the guys. So there's our relevancy to the marathon. We did it.
Good job, everyone.
He is bouncy. This evil cursor wants to delete us. How dare he? But yeah, then he just deletes the floor under us because I guess he changed his mind? Weird. Yes, Forceman. We know that one.
One thing to mention about Wily 6 just in general is it's actually impossible to practice this stage the way we would want to. Like, we would have to go through the whole beginning part to get to any of the side paths, and we can only go through the side paths once per playthrough. So there's less like strats here and more just playing fast as we can, like
But
on our own power.
there's one strat that's really amazing here.
Oh
So,
yes.
Look forward to that one because that's... Oh. There's another lock zip.
Really want to go through this in style. There is an any percent version of this. I don't remember the full formal name of it. Someone in the chat might
One-
tell me.
One
energy element.
one
Yes.
element, basically.
Skip to Wily 6 using
From the start of the game.
game content for the new game plus, and then destroy this level of glitches, and you beat the game in like 20 minutes. It's fun.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Wondering, a 100% run of this game, the fastest run. I think TimeLink has the record for this.
I don't know how many hours it is, but it's hours.
I think it's about 9. It's either 9 or 10.
Really quick, here we have Match Force, which is a combination of Forceman and Matchman. And considering both of those bosses are...
Oh,
Ouch!
Ouch.
Considering both of those bosses are pretty brutal, combining them is... yeah.
A single one of these Chimera bots. This is what they're called. I don't think we fought all the bosses because they're based on the custom bosses people make. Combust Man. I really recognize most of these.
After each of the Chimera bots, you have to destroy this orb, and then you get ported back to the middle. And you can find another path.
But know that weird shuriken-looking thing that he keeps picking up is a Yoshichi, which will refill your health and weapon energy.
It's an item that appeared in Mega Man 1. And also in Mega Man 10, I think, in easy mode.
Let's head. Guided. I'm trying to be very topical. This
Oh, here we go.
mashup of tiers 9 and 10, and is probably the most significant skip on the run. You do 2 skips in rapid succession. Yeah.
It does save
You
a
do
ton
2
of time
skips
though, yeah.
in
Yeah.
rapid succession, and the end result is
And it's really cool to look at. So here's the first sip.
1. Oh,
Ooh.
that was close.
The room in between the 2 zips is
And
messy.
here's the second one.
Now we're gonna just kill ourselves in the boss room, or
So we can
Right.
respawn in there.
that
And we have the boss. And the boss is Cyber Sheriff. Cyberman you have seen, Sheriffman you haven't. But he's still weak to Hornet Chaser, so there you go.
Jeez, they're in my eyes. I've made that joke already, but it's the other bee meme is not family friendly.
Like jazz. Some of you who played some Mega Man ROM hacks may also find this maze section similar to the Wily boss rush equivalent in Rockman 4 Minus Infinity, which is also a huge maze with lots of mashups.
So, since to this point I don't know how much we're gonna be able to talk for the next 10 minutes about the content in this. This is tiers 1 and 2, but you can all laugh at this, but I think we could take some audience questions. Does that sound good to you, PK?
Yeah, sure. Grandmaster should have won, definitely.
Skip over that sign this run. That's the bad thing about the Elroy skip.
Sad. What Link did there, he just jumped over a wall with a collision. Very tier 1 like.
The thing with this game, y'all can ask questions, but the thing that makes this run really fun, in my opinion, is that you take a lot of disparate paths, but you all sync up about an hour into the run. And then because it's so hard to practice the Wily stages, it really is anyone's game to see who wins.
Yeah, it's always great to watch some of these races.
You...
Are you, MJ?
I don't know.
Are you?
Really good. Bye. Bad.
Why do they call him Mega Man if his spread only takes a few kilobytes to render? That's the magic.
Spin is fighting Bond Joe, Bond Man, who I think Spin actually fought in his route,
Yeah.
and Joe Man, who no one fights because his stage is long.
Extremely long.
Oh yes.
Has anyone even attempted the Wily 6 no damage run? No one has.
Probably. They haven't
I mean, attempted,
succeeded.
but yeah, no successful run has been uploaded to the leaderboards.
There are in-game leaderboards in this game. It's cool.
Yeah.
I think some of us might have the timer going along the bottom now.
Link and Spin have.
Okay.
How dare you not have cheese?
I turned it off because I thought I would need to for some reason. I'm sorry.
Link now is going through the Yggdrasil inspired portion of the game.
And here's a Danmaku enemy. Very Toho-like.
You can see several of Yggdrasil's problems just from that.
Is it true that Pharaoh Man wasn't an ancient tool because he was too busy playing a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament? I mean, Pharaoh Man was actually already in the example Pharaoh Man stage in the Dev Kit, so taking him out.
Out. is like the-
Yeah.
It's fun. Pharaoh Man was too busy in another stage in this game. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But where? this is like GDQ or something, so we could have we could read off donations.
There aren't donations.
Donate to my Patreon. Come on, guys.
No, donate to my Patreon. This would be a good time. Or we could plug.
Yeah, because everyone's just mishmashing everything.
It's now a mashup of tiers 3 and 4.
Greetings from Germany. Greetings from Austria.
What in the world?
From Hotel Mario. Oh, here's a fun fact for you I learned a couple days ago. That music from Hotel Mario is actually stolen from Max Steiner's score from the 1933 film adaptation of Little Women.
What?
I just found this out. It's actually it was a lie.
Amazing.
Who files a cease and desist to all 3 runners. You heard it, boys. Shut down. Theme is it's not a porn song. It's just a song from a wholesome family film about 4 young girls.
Mega Man fan games hard to get into. Honestly, depends on the fan game. Some
Yeah.
of them are more hardcore. Let's put it that way.
Generally, they're not, but like there are better and worse choices.
Yeah. For example, I would personally recommend Mega Man Rock Force to anyone.
Yeah.
That's a good game.
Of course, it's interesting because it lets you play as robot masters once you defeat some. I would point out that most Mega Man fan games are harder than official games because, you know,
The ROM hack effect.
yeah. I think that I think frankly that most Mega Man ROM hacks are basically unplayable. Like all those Mega Man 2 hacks that you'd see on the guy who's QZECWX's channel that I would watch in 2008. Yeah, those games they are all terrible, without exception. Oh, and Time just died. Ouch.
Another game I could recommend is Magma 2, Cough Cough.
Other good Mega Man fan games. I like Mega Man Super Fighting Robot a lot.
Same.
There are some Nezumi Man.
Nezumi Man and Ronko-chan are both really good.
They're not
Ronko-chan has the problem of being a browser-only game, though.
That's true.
Yeah. That they're making an executable version once Flash dies.
Huh.
I hope they do anyway.
That would be neat.
Dr. Wily's Final Attack has a mini score, but other than that, it's very enjoyable.
No, you're playing an old version of that.
Or now, okay.
Link said Jump Bust Man, which is Combust Man and Jump Man. Let's see.
This fan game, Migi and Mana versus Dr. Wheelie.
Thank you, Gary. Appreciate it.
Root of -1 is a joke fan game, but that's actually fun.
Yeah, it's good. Also, if you wanna practice like level design and stuff, Mega Man Maker is something you could try. Link is now in the tier 5 and
Smash Up.
6? Yeah.
The series
And the main gimmick of this mashup is the air slide, which was one of the
tier
gimmicks.
5. Yeah, tier 5's first level. Holy expletive. Mega Man can air slide? Question mark. It's not really an expletive, it's crap. Crap isn't an expletive. Vez and there's technically no rule
Holy
for anything.
carp.
No, technically, there's no rule saying that you can't use George Carlin's 7 dirty words and just use that as your level name. Ain't no rule. But yes, Cutman's Bad Scissors Egg. There is a Cutman's Bad Scissors Egg costume in this game, which makes the dialogue in this game better.
Now we're fighting against the best ship, Quarantine and Neapolitan Man, and they are cute again.
Yes. The epic controversy. What gender is Quora? What gender is Quorapolitan? Is Quorapolitan a man, a woman, both? It's a mystery. Time Link has now got to the final stretch of the game.
It's mostly just boss fights from here on out, so we're getting close. Quorapolitan's gender is ice cream.
X. We don't get Tier X in this run. Tier X would take a lot more time because you'd have to do every single stage.
Anyways, here is Wily Machine Sword. It's weak to Super Arrow in the first phase, and in the second one it utilizes a gimmick from the winning entry.
You played as one of 4 Robot Masters, which coincidentally happen to be the weapons. Give you the weapons in this game.
I think that was intentional.
Nope, it's a big coincidence. Trust us. Trust me, I'm a speedrunner.
Alright, now we're at phase 2, so Wily will transform Mega Man into Hornet Man. Which means we can only use Hornet Chaser, but we have an infinite amount of it at our disposal.
It's hip to spam bees.
Now we're Jewel Man. It's unbelievable, man. Now, when you get to Nitro Man, it's a bit different because the weak point is actually this heart that's floating around. I think a one cycle on that is possible, but it's tricky. And for the
No, not a one
last-
cycle. You can get it in 2 though.
And for the last stretch we're Brightman, and we can't do anything, but pressing the shoot button makes some visual effects, so it looks like we are doing something important while we're not really.
Makes you feel good.
Yes.
Buster only. Busting, of course. Arena. It is hell.
Well,
It's
Again.
Hello Kitty. And now Wily is gonna summon someone from another dimension. Who's it gonna be? It's Mega Man from Mega Man Sprite game. Because, of course.
We had a very mild expletive that just passed by, so I think it's
And he's gone.
but we still have a boss.
In quotation marks. Well, actually,
so
the
actually,
reality
there's no
falls
boss.
are
I'm sorry.
Very unstable.
Dying. This is the end of the game. Mega Man, we should just hit that clock and everything because Doctor Light's
Everything's
defeated?
over.
Yes.
He's dead.
fans in space. He's running out of oxygen.
Robots clearly need oxygen.
But no, the energy elements give him power. A lot of power, apparently. And he's got a new spaceship.
All the Pokemon cry on him, and then he comes back to life.
And now it's time for the last letter.
Did Lan approve it? I actually don't know if we got her approval for this boss. I believe that we did. I think I'm... final fight is not actually a fight.
You press the shoot button and dodge stuff.
It's more of
That's
an
it.
avoidance.
Yeah.
Technically, you still have to fire, but they're all foaming, and you don't even have to really time your shots.
It's kind of like Toho.
Why are you... I don't know why the fist on it. I just did it. We're fisting in space. That sounded much worse when I said it out loud.
God damn it.
Any last minute questions you want to ask before we call time? Because we're going to call time very soon.
Where's Spin?
He's
Fighting
doing
Cyber.
something.
Oh, okay.
He's only like a minute behind you, I think. So I think this is his last one.
Yeah, I think so too.
But he's run out of Hornet Chaser, so it could take him a while.
We're all pretty close. Nice.
And Link is just about done.
Yeah, he is. So we can call it. That was 154.24, I want to say.
Whoa! That's
Sounds
crazy.
reasonable.
Personal best for you, Link? I don't
I
actually
think
know.
so.
Yeah, I think this might be Link's personal best.
Good job. God dang.
The world record for this game is, and that
Is now that.
Wow.
I think it is.
You saw it here first. Wow. Nice.
and level 2.
Did he just try to skip the credits with the kill button? Link, please! Link, please!
How could you do this to yourself?
How dare you deny the beautiful credits?
Design every entrant in order. And more! There's post-game stuff that we're not doing.
Yeah, this game has a lot of content, so I do recommend everyone to check it out and play it for yourselves, and hopefully you'll enjoy
yes.
it.
It's a lot of fun.
Be clear here. There's no celebration yet. We still have the fight for second place.
Yep.
Yeah, this would be a good time to plug Mammal 3, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Make a Good Mega Man Level 3 is happening this year. The dev kit is in Game Maker Studio, which I understand is what most I Want to Be the Guy fan games are made in. So a lot of you already have the tools for it. The dev kit from Magma 2 is available right now on the website.
But personally,
I
I would
imagine that
hold out waiting for the Magwell 3 one. I mean, you can mess around with the Variable 2 one, but the Variable 3 one is gonna be way, way better. So, yeah.
Fan game called Make a Good 48-hour level. It's very similar. It's going to use the Magmal 3 dev kit, but you're only going to have 48 hours to make your level, and so that everyone's on relatively even footing. Are going to have to, and also this is basically a glorified beta test, but you're going to be given a set of X and enemies you have to include in your level. It's actually quite fun. If you want to just give it a try, you can just test it out, feed in the water or whatever.
Yeah. Jesus, starting on the Whitey capsule now.
Mm-hmm.
You.
Entity, please.
I think someone will post a link to the Magmal 3 Discord in the Fangame Marathon Discord if after the run finishes.
Oh yeah, good idea.
If you liked this game, feel free to come over to our server and
Hang out, have fun.
learn. Game, you want to contribute to the next one? Magmal 3 is... This is Mag 48HR.
Rolls right off the tongue.
Just call it 48 hour.
Hour magic.
Alright. Both are on the last capsule now. And it looks like Jesus gonna take it.
I think unless she
Unless-
dies, or
Yeah, don't die.
unless she dies, or his XG
advice.
breaks or whatever, then usually breaks in the next minute. They might be able to
I mean,
take it.
you can still use the keyboard though. So,
I've been using the keyboard.
oh, well, okay then. I always use the controller.
Don't break my keyboard, please. There
Yoshi
we
Adam
go.
just posted a link to our server, so feel free to join. Let's see how many are gonna join right now.
I'll maybe not me copy that, but
I wasn't looking at the time I got, but it sounds like second.
You got 2 hours and 3 seconds roughly.
Oh, that's
So close to sub
another
2.
personal best, I guess. I still need to get a sub 2 someday.
You're so close.
the server and the Discord is
Svin is getting close to dying. That's worrying me.
Ooh.
Please don't
I'm
die,
saving.
Svin. Please don't die. Ooh.
tank, so I'm not too worried.
And yeah, he's eating, but please don't do anything reckless now. That's scary. That's scary to watch.
Dustbin go.
And he gets a 244.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We all came way under estimate. Nice. Plenty of time
Good
for
job,
the
everyone.
showcase we've planned.
Good job, everyone.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I figured we just play through Spiky Situation.
Well, that is it. That is what we're gonna do.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
We couldn't very well have this game in the marathon without going through Spike Situation.
True.
Alright, hi. Congratulations on the runs. It's super entertaining, and congratulations TimeLink on the new record.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Wolf. You just popped in. Cool.
Yeah, I did. So we're sitting, that was just about 2 hours, so since the estimate was down to 220, you definitely have some time to showcase things that you wanted to.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Go for it.
We're going through a level made by 128 Up named Spiky Situation.
It scored 20th place, which is a funny coincidence.
Are we racing this level? I don't know.
We were planning on that, yeah.
Awesome.
Fun.
Will you be doing the secret boss as well?
And we're also showing off a couple of the costumes that are in this game. Just
Nice.
the default ones. And yes,
Judge comments that yeah, we are completely skipping over, but a shout out to the 5 judges in this game. Let's rather are biased speedrunners. Can't wait for 48 hours when you all ignore all the stuff that I wrote. Pretend I didn't say that because it's a secret.
oh yeah. So I don't know who's doing a countdown. I guess I can.
Go ahead.
Might as well.
So
3, 2, 1, let's go. I've got a disadvantage because I have the Proto Man whistle.
Proto Man is not useful for going fast.
Go moderately quickly.
Try to not die.
Oh, they're cute. They're cute.
More or less where I wanted to... Oh, I'm...
Did you die?
I suicided to regain health at the checkpoint without activating the checkpoint.
You did it.
Time Link, he's for attack.
So how about Pit of Pits race right now?
I don't think we can fit that in. We weren't that underestimate.
I know.
We're not using Meet IRL because I think it might be one of those skins that changes your super hour and wire.
I don't
Well,
think
actually-
it does. I don't think MIRL does.
It doesn't. Proto Man and Roll both do.
Okay, never mind. We're just
Luckily, that's not relevant in this stage.
I think Met
There's
does.
nowhere you can actually do a good zip setup here.
aim. Boo.
Boo. So yeah, Link's coming up on the boss, which is someone most of you runners will be playing as in this marathon. It's the kid.
Oh, by the way. And then jump in there and talk to the kid. He has some fun dialogue for you.
This stage also has a secret extra boss you can take on for Noble Nickel. And you cannot shoot during it, you cannot pause during it, which means you can't heal. So
You cannot activate Jewel Satellite during it.
you just gotta endure the Danmaku.
It's an avoidance boss.
Yep. It's a cherry you uncoated spines.
you all like this nice tune that's playing.
Yeah, it's very impressively timed to all of the Marco that's happening. So good job on that.
Good move.
And Timelink once again finishes first.
Okay, speed isn't everything.
Sometimes you just gotta avoid stuff. Nerf Timelink 2 OP.
Play the actual entrance avoidance.
That'll be fun to watch. That might not go so quickly.
But yeah,
Yeah,
considering
not
the
the most
damage, yeah, Cheese did the health thing the best, so yay, you did it.
So we actually weren't expecting all three of us to get this far under estimate, so we didn't plan too much else. People were talking about Yggdrasil though, and what would that be something to go through?
Fun. Oh, everyone can do a different path. So
Yes!
that sounds like fun.
Yes, everyone does a different path. That would be awesome. Let's do it then.
I don't know the different paths.
That's the fun part.
Okay.
I think all the runners here deserve a Wily combo. Yes.
Yeah. Do we have time for one more, like a few more minutes?
You got about 5 minutes, maybe. So if you think it would take more than that, then we can just head on to the next run.
Now that's probably enough time for Yggdrasil.
And considering everyone does
Doing it the way the way we know, anyway.
All right, then yeah, go for it.
If the other runners are good with that, I would.
Flynn is already in tier 2.
Okay then. I would say just go with the paths that we. Well, Finn is taking blue.
Okay. Sniped.
Doing what path? There are 3.
Link is doing pink. So she is.
I guess that leaves me with green. I don't know how to do the green path. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, start.
The green path. It's okay.
This might now take a little long, but
You can
okay,
handle it.
especially me. There's an invisible trigger here that you can jump over. Otherwise, there's like this 30-second bit of dialogue that you can't actually skip through. You can check my button inputs down at the bottom.
Oh, Sven triggered.
I'm
Sven
pressing the
triggered it.
buttons.
Swin didn't. Oh Jesus!
I'm pressing
Oh, no.
all the
Very
buttons.
cool and
Dialogue
concept.
isn't speeding up at all.
Oh no! Oh no! Another fun thing about the dialogue, it goes by too fast to read. So you did
You
it.
can't speed it up or slow it down.
Game map function that you unlock if you collect those collectibles. Useful.
Finding more collectibles.
And if you like having your item shape show up on screen.
So you might notice that things aren't making really sense.
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes
Yggdrasil.
you warp. Sometimes you warp to the other side of the screen. Sometimes you just die. It's weird.
That's unfair.
Timelink did the pink path, which is just
Which is
really
the path the speedrun
short.
actually takes.
It's just a really short path. But the boss is tough, especially since she can heal herself by hitting you.
I would just like to mention that I mistook normal geometry for spikes just now. So
Yeah,
even
that's-
though it looks nice, this level's graphics are still
Confusing.
not good. Oh, this room doesn't loop. Okay.
I'm almost getting a heart attack. These occasionally just jump. Bosses tend to jump out of the arena.
Well, I think I'm going to argue that I don't need to actually, so that we don't go overestimate with this, I don't need to actually complete this room, this path. We're getting the full Yggdrasil experience right here.
Yiggy.
I'm geeky with it.
And Time Link is struggling with Jonah, because she always heals herself. But there he goes.
That reminds me, could you play us out with there you go. Could you play us out with Taco Man's theme on loop?
Why do you request
What?
these things?
Is that it? Have you? We're good?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, cool.
Uh,
You can
Jesus.
be responsible for singing Taco Man as a finale.
Singing! Singing!
All right.
Oh, no.
Well, that was tons of fun. I really liked the Leahy avoidance in there. That was great. So, thank you for the run, guys. It was great to have you. Nice to see the first I Want to Be the Guy fan game of the entire Fangame Marathon ever.
It was an honor. Thank you for having us.
Fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Join us for Magmal 3 and 48 hour before that.
Well, you all have a wonderful day, and hope to see you at future marathons. And any shout-outs you want to do?
Shout out to everyone who worked on this for one, because this was all just a community effort, and it's unbelievable that I just think it's unbelievable that we have everything here that came of it.
I think in the abstract, just the idea that 100 people worked in some way for this fan game is just
It's just really incredible and heartwarming to see. Also shoutouts to all of the Magmal 2 speedrunners that came up with a lot of these strats and all of these routes.
Oh yes, Board, who's popped up in the chat every so often, came up with a lot of things. And yeah, shoutouts to you guys for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here.
that we see you at 2019.
For sure. All right, have a good one.
Have
You
a good
too.
marathon, everyone.
Bye-bye.